turning up the speed and intensity from the previous two entries, with critics referring to it as a worthy and fitting conclusion to the trilogy. Dark Souls 3 certainly ended the series on a high note, with a plethora of exciting boss encounters. So now, as we've done with the previous two iterations, it's time to count down those top 10 bosses from Dark Souls 3 and bring the trilogy of games to a close. And as always, just a heads up, there are some major spoilers ahead. We begin this countdown with a boss encounter that oozes with simplistic beauty that takes choreography to the next level. Dancer of the Boreal Valley. I was a reasonably high level, and as much as I farmed, it didn't make much difference as this boss kicked my butt several times. An unusual opponent in every sense of the word that manoeuvres very much in the way of dance, that was almost mesmerising to watch, yet tough, especially if she caught you off guard or she really got going. Yet with every attempt I came to appreciate the boss more and more for the level of challenge and excitement she presented as a formidable opponent and an encounter I will never forget, earning number 10. Our next entry is a standout encounter for many of a Dark Souls 3 fan and needs no introduction. The Abyss Watchers. Bound by a curse forcing them to fight forever, be that with each other or gunning directly for the player, with an awesome design, two phases that are both quick and pack a punch. This is a really cool boss. From the gorgeous and devastating blows of a lit up sword, bodies piling everywhere on a battlefield accompanied by a choir orchestral soundtrack throughout, you knew a lot of effort had gone into the Abyss Watchers and it paid off big time as a contest to remember, earning number 9. Next up, we look to a very vocal encounter against Osiris, the Consumed King.
You ignorant slaves. Finally taken notice, have you?
An extremely unique design whilst cradling and protecting an imaginary child that won't stop yapping for the first half, yet flips the switch for the second, really turning up the heat. Scarily quick and agile for his size, dealing the hurt. Ice attacks included, is not a foe to be taken lightly, and although he's an optional boss, it's an encounter you do not want to miss, as he's an encounter that stands out from the entire trilogy, earning number 8. An encounter with a rather clever concept is up next, against Lorien and Lothric, the twin princes.
Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
Powerful attacks and teleportation right off the bat, meaning you can be caught off guard from all sorts of angles, with a second phase where the other brother piggybacks into battle, consistently reviving the elder upon every defeat. Although it came across as infuriating to some, I love every second of this battle as it provided a level of excitement with a fantastic soundtrack throughout, immersing you into the experience even more so. Bring all the boys and girls you can for this one as you're in for an awesome ride, earning the Twin Princes, number 7. Our next entry takes us to an encounter against not one, not two, but 3 demons in The Demon in Pain, From Below, and the Prince. From fire to poison, a wide variety of attacks all set in a huge open arena as a test of endurance, but most importantly, it feels fair. A final phase against a demon prince taking on the traits of the final demon to fall was a most welcome surprise as well, complete with a huge arsenal of challenging moves provides a perfect ending to an already adrenaline-filled contest. From designs, movesets and challenge, everything here complements each other perfectly, ultimately delivering an exciting test of skill, earning the Demon's number 6. Our 5th entry marks the first time I've placed a Dark Souls base game's final boss in a top spot against the Soul of Cinder. Speed, power, magic, with the ability to change his moveset and weapons on the fly, thus placing the player in scenarios that are extremely difficult to predict and overcome. The Soul of Cinder certainly delivers on all fronts. And to add icing on the cake, presenting us with a scenario where he comes back in a second phase, adopting Gwyn Lord of Cinder's moveset and music from the original Dark Souls as well, provides that little extra flair, overall creating an encounter that was exciting through its entirety, and a worthy climax to the trilogy, placing the Soul of Cinder at number 5. Many of a player out there considers our next entry to be one of the best bosses throughout the entirety of the Soulsborne series, and to be frank, you'll find no argument here, and we're referring to the Nameless King. Has a boss ever had such a cool entrance that's able to back it up with power, ability and finesse? The Nameless King defines greatness, producing a battle against the King of Storm that's a sight to behold, and we're just talking about the first half. Battling the Dragon Slayer God of War himself in the second half presents what seems to be an impossible task at times, as he's relentless, requiring perfect timing, intelligence and an overall level of skill in order to prevail. From an awesome setting, whether he's in the sky or face to face, the Nameless King is an exceptional opponent that does the Dark Souls trilogy proud, easily exceeding every expectation, placing him at number 4. Any boss from this point on has topped the Nameless King, earning them recognition, so at number 3 it's Dark Eater Midir. Finally, we have a dragon that's enormous in scale, with his fiery breath that can take to the skies in a blink of an eye, of which is so unforgiving, ferociously brings the pain, complete with a health pool that doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. This is an encounter that proves without a shadow of a doubt that unless you're experienced, know what you're doing, with a sufficient level of skill, that levels don't count for much, as confronting Dark Eater Midir blatantly makes this clear, presenting us with a truly epic showdown, showing you what the Dark Souls trilogy is all about, earning number 3. Our penultimate entry takes us to the painted world of Ariandel against Sister Fried and Father Ariandel.
Please avert thine eyes. I will snuff out these ashes for good.
An extremely well designed 3-phase boss fight that will test the player in a variety of ways against opponents of fascinating design, with awesome effects and powerful abilities, overall creating exciting yet difficult levels of challenge. I love the story that's being told over the course of the action, presented with such emotion, creating scenarios of utter chaos at times, designed to catch the player off guard and test the resolve, in what ultimately delivers a highly original and clever boss with an interesting dynamic, deserving of the silver, earning number 2. Our final entry brings us to Slave Knight Gale.
Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul.
Eccentric design and behaviours with jaw-dropping animation set in a glorious arena full of detail and mystique. As final DLC bosses go, Slave Knight Gale is the whole package, and as you'd expect, he's beyond a difficult challenge, but he's also so much more, by attacking with such velocity and speed, producing a relentless duel to test even the most seasoned of veterans. As the final boss ever created in the trilogy of games, Slave Knight Gale had a lot to live up to, and even then raises the bar. It's a monstrous onslaught that brings out the very best in the player, with victory never feeling so significant and rewarding, with FromSoftware certainly ending their final act to the trilogy in such style, placing Slave Knight Gale as our very best boss from Dark Souls 3, earning our number 1 spot. So that brings us to the end of the top 10 Dark Souls 3 bosses, and with the previous 2 videos, the trilogy as a whole. You never know, I may decide next to compile them all together into one list to see where the bosses stack up and find out who is the very best. If you're still here though, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed then please remember to like, share and subscribe to the channel as it helps me grow. It always goes a long way and is greatly appreciated. And if you can, be sure to stick with me as I'll be bringing new videos to you soon. Take care now, Gavinchi out.